Long. Okay, this is Israel Wake Up. This is our Wednesday night class, 28th October, and we're gonna do a moment of silence and to show respect to the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing for our deliverance from our oppressors. And then we're gonna do a prayer and then do a little current event. Okay. Oh Lord, we thank you for your great mercy and your great power and wisdom. We tarry, waiting for your powerful deliverance of your people Israel. O Lord, you have given us insight into the scriptures of our forefathers. You, O Lord, have directed us to who you are and your role in the goings on of heaven and earth. We come this Sabbath day, we come this day doubtless that you will appear and that you will gather your nation from among these wicked Gentiles. O Lord, you spoke through your prophet Isaiah and said that you would help Abraham's seed and that you, O Lord, whom you, O Lord, have scattered. You have completed that promise as of this day. You said, O Lord, that you would remove darkness from around us. Tarry not, O Lord. The latter days are here. We are waiting and watching for you. Peace be unto you. Okay. It says Miss Jenkins got to connect her mic before you can add them to the stream. Okay. Anybody got any current event?
The storm Zeta has hit landfall as a Category 2. So that bad weather has started down towards New Orleans already. It has not hit up south yet, but it has made landfall.
Okay. It's in New Orleans?
Yes, they're getting the rain.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank God it didn't come. We'd have really had something to talk about it. It came out the same route it went those other two went.
Yes.
It says, Miss Jenkins, your guests will need to connect the Mike and Cam before you can add them to the stream. Okay, so we was talking. I think it was Monday about the asteroids. So I'm gonna play this little clip. It was about what's getting ready to happen with this asteroid.
It is an asteroid. It's called an Apollo asteroid. Basically, there's different areas in our solar system where asteroids exist. And these are sort of near to the Earth type asteroids. And as the name suggests, it was discovered in 2018. And it is predicted that this year, this November, it might get close to us. No, it's only been observed once, and this is when it was discovered back in 2018. It was only observed for about 13 days. So during that small window of time, we tried to gather as much information about its orbit as we could get, and you sort of extrapolate that information outwards, and it gives you a range of possibilities. And one of those possibilities, there's about a 1 in 250 chance that it will strike the Earth. There have been some videos online that have, pointed this out, that this is something to worry about. What is missing from those videos and that analysis is the size of this object. It's about 7 feet in diameter, which is tiny. What would happen if it hit the Earth's atmosphere is it would more likely than not turn into something called a bolide, which is just a big bright streak across the sky. And then it would create what's called a strewn field, where little parts of it exist. In Michigan, we had this a few years ago, where in the wee hours of the night, I think it was before midnight, there was a huge flash in the sky, and that was an object that was actually bigger than this. It was, I think, about the size of a truck, maybe even a dump truck. So even if this does hit us, and it's a very remote chance that it will probably end up being hundreds of thousands of miles away. It's so small that it will only result in something cool to see in the sky. The Earth gets hit by large objects every so often, and some have predicted that we're due for an impact of some significance. This won't be it. But there's stuff out there floating around in space, and we've seen big comets, for instance, hit Jupiter and star Jupiter's surface. We've actually seen objects hit the surface of the moon. There's craters all over the Earth, of course, and on the moon. You just look at the moon and you can see evidence of large collisions. So I've never seen one in a telescope. They usually move pretty fast, and they're so small and dark they're just hard to see. But they're definitely out there. We've sent missions to them to investigate, the composition of an asteroid. So there are definitely planet killers in our solar system.
Okay, so I'm probably saying while I'm playing this, well, I was talking about Monday how that's just on. I don't know if anybody did the research, but guy did he did like videos on the $50 bill, the new $50 bill, the $100 bill, and I think it was the 20, and then on the I think it's on the $100 bill. They have if you fold it a certain way, it shows you that it's a incinerator device going down into the Atlantic Ocean. And then on the front of the $100 bills got these, the way they draw it. If you're not really looking for it, you won't see it. But when you turn it a certain way, you can see where it's actually 100-foot waves going over the buildings in New York City. And then they show you turn it another way, you can see where it's water. It was water up on like the 34th floor. Water is all the way up on the 34th floor of the buildings. You can see the reflection of the where the artist did it. You can see the reflections of the water. So it's and they call it, you can Google that too. It's called a flood event. So New York and the East Coast, the area up there, they propose they've been preparing for the last maybe 10 years or so for a flood event, which is what they can say is supposed to be a tsunami. Tsunami is supposed to hit the East Coast in the what it is they're saying that a meteorite was going to hit the Atlantic Ocean. But the trick to it is this right here is this, even though he's saying it's small, but the thing about it is they're saying that it's going to make impact on November 2nd. And, you know, that's not a coincidence with the election on November 30th. So it's just, you know, it's something to watch out for, because everything else that happened in 2020, he can't put nothing past that. But like I said, it's on the $100 bill. If you you know, you may have to do a little searching, but you Google it, go to YouTube, you should it should come up. Yeah. Anybody got any comments? No comments? Okay. And I'm gonna read out of Joshua. Yeah, I was telling people that came late. I was telling them that I got a bunch of those. I got my images and all that, but when I got to the house, I didn't have enough time to set all that up. So I'm not gonna rush it. So I'm just gonna do it either, you know, Friday, do it another day. And the main thing right now is to get this situated where everybody get familiar with it, and we can move forward. So I'm reading read verse 19. It says, and it came to pass on tomorrow that Moses read before the congregation out of the book of the covenant the statutes and the ordinances which the Lord had appointed unto the children of Israel to observe. And Moses said, thus said the Lord, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, I am the Lord, thy God. With my outstretched arm have I delivered you from the bondage of the Egyptians. Ye shall worship no other God besides me. The likeness of the Lord thy God thou shalt not make, either in gold or in silver, in brass or in wood. Thou shalt not use teraphims in thy dwellings, said the Lord. Sacred and holy shall my name be in the mouths of this congregation, and in the mouths of your sons and your sons' sons throughout all generations. Ye shall set apart every 7th day for a day of rest. Thou shalt not work therein, neither thou, thy wife, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that shall be within thy gates. Okay. Okay. For on that day thou shalt rest from thy labor, and on that day thou shalt bring offerings of thy cattle, and of thy flock, and of thy herd, and of thy fowls, and the priest shall slay them before the congregation, and the flesh thereof shall they roast with fire. And on that day shall the priest rehearse in the ears of all Israel all the wonders done in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea. Thou shalt reference the hoary head. Thou shalt not smite any man so that he dies. If thou dost do it, thou shalt die in death, and thy name shall be forgotten. Thou shalt not speak evil, nor slander any of the children of Jacob. Thou shalt not covet that which is the property of another. Thou shalt not do after the abomination of the Egyptians. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy sister. She is thy own flesh. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman doing her uncleanness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of the virgin betrothed, neither shalt thou go into a woman who is the wife of another. And when Moses had made an end of speaking, all the people cried out with one voice, all these things which the Lord hath commanded will we observe to do, we and our sons sons forever. Okay, chapter 20, read one more chapter. And Moses said, behold, thus saith the Lord, ye shall build an ark unto the Lord, He shall put an ark in the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall lay up therein the words of the testimony, which I have read this day in the ears of all Israel, for a perpetual memorial of the covenant which the Lord hath made with the prosperity of Jacob. And Bezalel and Aholiab made the ark according to the pattern that they had received of the Lord on Mount Sinai. And the ark was of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half was the length of it, and the cubit and a half was the breadth of it, and the height of the cubit of a half. And they made 4 rings of gold, 2 on each side, and they made 2 staves also, that the priests might bear the ark of the testimony before the people. Then made they mercy seat of pure gold, and the cherubim at each corner thereof of pure gold did they make them. The table of shechem wood made they, and they overlaid it with gold. And they cast 4 rings of gold, and they made staves to bear the table, and the vessels of the table, the dishes, the spoons, the bowls, the covers, the candlesticks, the 6 branches thereof, and the 7 lamps, the snuffers, and the snuff dishes of beaten gold were they made. The incense altar of shittim wood was 4 square, and the horn thereof of the same, overlaid with pure gold, with rings, and with staves, the buried with them. Of shechem wood also did they make the altar of the burnt offering, and the horn thereof, and the stave thereof, and with brass did they overlay the pots, the shovels, the basins, the fire pans, the grates, the 4 rings, the laver, the 20 pillars with their sockets, all of brass did they make them. And of fine linen were made the hangings of the tabernacle, and the hangings of the gate of the court were of blue, of scarlet, and of purple, wrought in needlework by the virgins of Israel, according to the pattern of Moses had received of the Lord on the mount. For they brought up unto Moses day by day all the work which they had done, and Moses looked on the same, that it might be done according to all that the Lord had commanded him. And Moses said, Thus hath the Lord spoken, Thou shalt put the ark of the covenant, the table, the mercy seat, with all the furniture thereof, into the tabernacle of the congregation. Before the door of the tabernacle shalt thou build the altar, with the laver, and with the hangings thereof, and with oil shalt thou sanctify them. Aaron and his sons shalt thou bring before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and thou shalt wash them with water, and thou shalt anoint them with oil. Only this thing shalt thou observe: all the males of the tribe of Levi, without blemish, shalt thou consecrate, saith the Lord. The eunuchs, whether he be born so or made so, shalt thou not consecrate. And the burnt offerings, and the sacrifices, and the offerings of the kids, and of the goats, and of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine linen, which the people offered, I pertain unto the Levites, even as the Lord hath commanded Moses. Thus did Moses in the sight of all Israel, even according to the commandment of the Lord did he. Okay, I want to shine light on something in verse. I talk about this a lot, but this is a witness right here. It says in verse 15, I'm going to verse 16. It says, Aaron and his sons, these are Levites. And we keep, I bring it up that we're in the last days, and Most High performing the prophecy of Isaiah 44, 1 through 5, that he's going to wake Israel up in the last days, and they waking up. And but you got Levites. He waking up all the 12 tribes, but you got Levites, which they have a different role. The Most High took the Levites unto himself, and they're the ones that do the teaching. They're the ones receive from the Most High, and then they distribute it to the people. And so it says, verse 15, Aaron and his sons shalt thou bring before the door of the tabernacle. Not the other tribes. It says, Aaron and his sons that thou shalt bring before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, Thou shalt wash them with water, and thou shalt anoint them with oil. 16. Only this thing shalt thou observe, all the males of the Levites of the tribe of Levi without blemish. So you say, what you talking about? Well, Most High said right before the flood, he looked down and he only found one man that was perfect in his generation. That was Noah. So same thing right here, just worded different. He says he only found one man without blemish, without any defects. It was Noah. And right here, he's telling you, only this thing shall thou observe, all the males of the tribe of Levi without blemish. So he ain't dealing with him if he got blemish. So it says, shall thou concentrate. If they got a defect or whatever, they can't be consecrated. And says, shall thou consecrate, said the Lord. The eunuchs. So if you know what a eunuch is a person, is a male that's been castrated. And so say whether he be born that way or made so, which means castrated, shall thou not consecrate. You can't consecrate him because he got defects on him. Something wrong with him. So this got to be applied now. Because like I said, and that's where the drama coming in from Israel right now with all these camps. And then you got, what's being revealed over here. You can train a baboon to see it, but they're not seeing it. And it's coming back to this right here. He says, and the eunuch, whether they be born or made so, shall thou not consecrate. And the burnt offering and the sacrifices and the offerings of the kids and goats and sheep and oxen and purple and scarlet and the fine linen which the people offered are pertaining unto the Levites, even as the Lord had commanded Moses. So it keep coming back to the Levites. But you got Israelite males waking up, finding out who they are all over the place. But they don't say that they Levites. And that's where the drama coming in. People trying to play the role of Levites and they ain't Levite. And that's a major problem. And believe me, the Most High gonna straighten it out. Any comments on what I read? No comments?
Jeanette typed a question in the comments section.
Comment section. Okay. It ain't coming up.
She said, we know what a blemish is on an animal that can be given to the Lord as a sacrifice, but what blemishes disqualify a Hebrew man from being a Levite?
Okay, well, like I was saying before, if you go, I can't remember where it's at, but when one of the places is when they left Babylon, when the Most High delivered them from Babylon, then they got better. They stopped and they had a gathering at Shalom. They had a gathering by the river, and Ezra reviewed and looked at all the Levites and checked their papers to see if they was all Israelites. But this is the problem. We go back to Genesis chapter 6. Then these angels came down and they started sleeping with women. And I was showing you that let me get it right quick. I was showing you that in Genesis chapter 10, when the table of nations, it says, you got Japhet lineage in verses 1 through 5, then you get the Ham lineage. Verse 6, it says the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah. It goes on down, then you get to verse 11. It says, out of the land went forth Asher and built Nineveh, the city of Rehoboth and Caleb, and Rezin between Nineveh and Caleb, the same as a great city. Then 13 says, and Mizraim, That's a giant. Them giants. That's a race of giants. Just like in Deuteronomy 20, Deuteronomy chapter 2. So it's a race of giants. So Mizraim is who the Egyptians are. So, and like I said before, he said that my people oftentimes went down into Egypt, and the Egyptians, which is Mizraim, afflicted them. That's one of the characteristics of the giants. They're oppressive, and they violent and they're oppressive. So these children of Mizraim, this son right here from Ham, which is a product of fallen angel sleeping with a woman. So when you keep going all the way down to verse 19, he says, it said Mizraim had Ludan. That's a giant. So all these giants coming from him, and you go on down all the way down, you get down to 17, and the Havites, and the Orites, and the Sinites, and the Adarites. All these are giants, but the kites with the ITE on them, they're smaller, but the ones with the IM on them are bigger. And so, like I said, when you understand what DNA is, that DNA all over the place. So you would have if you have a man now, when the Most High took those giants, he sent those 7 angels down, and they bind those giants. So the source of their height started dwindling because he took away the source where it came from the angels. So they're getting smaller. But because of DNA, it'll pop up. You have a man, and you see it all the time, like I said, especially in the Europeans. But if you have a man that got a regular height but big old ears, you have a man got a regular height, big feet. That's the defects. That's what the defects came in at. And that's why he said, don't mingle with them. Don't let your sons marry their daughters. Don't let your daughters marry their sons, because they're gonna get those traits. And so obviously what we just read in Jasher, they had started intermingling with them, and they was having some of those. He said nothing can be. I mean, somebody know what they said, but I think it's in Leviticus somewhere. But he had a requirement that none of the Levites that worked around the temple or whatever couldn't have nothing on them that was elongated. And that's what I'm talking about. They show with the big ears, big hands, big feet. All that come from all those are the DNA showing itself from the giants. Those are defects. Because, like I said in the beginning, when he made Adam, he made Adam perfect. But just like I said about the land, when he said when water receded and the land came up, he said it was good. It was perfect. So if you find some area where it's covered over with snow, 2 and 3 miles of snow on top of it, or you see the Sahara Desert, something happened, because that ain't how he created it. And it's the same thing with the human DNA. If something wrong, then where it come from, because they ain't how the Most High. He don't make mistakes. So it comes from what the giants did in the beginning when they fused angelic DNA with human DNA, and the side effects to it. And that's why he didn't want us messing with nobody outside of Israel. And then, like I said, we came over here, our women was getting raped all over the place. In the plantation houses, on the boats, everywhere. So we got all kind of stuff going on now. Okay. Anybody else got anything? No more question? Okay. Like I was saying before, a lot of people weren't here, but this channel right here is Israel Wake Up. And so, whenever you might want to go to the channel and subscribe, and then set the bell up so whenever we have a class, you get alerted. And like I said, you just keep moving until everything else come back online. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'm going with a little blast from the past. One of our old videos. I'm gonna play that, and then we'll deal with it.
Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites scattered abroad and around the world, victims of the transatlantic slave trade, I come unto you in meekness of spirit and with the zeal that the Lord of hosts has placed upon me. If you are awakened to the fact that you are a descendant of the Hebrew Israelites, 12 tribes of Israel, it is of the utmost importance that you observe this video and rightly divide its content. We as Hebrews know that the curses of Deuteronomy 28 identifies who we are as Israelites, Jacob's children, and that these curses were placed upon us because of our disobedience of the Lord our God. Hebrews, Deuteronomy 28, verses 28 through 29 states, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. The Lord mentions that the Israelites would be blind twice in these two verses. He states that they would be like blind folks groping in the darkness, Hebrews. The Lord of hosts asks a question in Isaiah 42, verse 19, which states, who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? The Lord goes on to say in Isaiah 42, verses 23 through 24, that Israel is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivered, for a spoil, and none said restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Hebrews, I would like to shine a light on Isaiah 42, verse 24, the first part of the verse, which states, who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Hebrews, we know that the Lord of hosts gave Israel up as a spoil because of their disobedience. My question to all Hebrew Israelites scattered abroad is this: who are the robbers in Isaiah 42, verse 24? This question brings me to the topic of this video, Hebrews, the Greek New Testament. In order to answer the above questions, we must go together to the book of Obadiah. Hebrews, the Lord of hosts, poses a question to Israelites concerning these robbers in Obadiah 1, verses 5, which states, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? The Lord continues on and identifies who the robbers are in verses 6 with a follow-up question. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought out? Hebrews, I would like to build upon what the Lord of hosts just said by combating it with verses from the few prophets. Isaiah said in Isaiah 66, verse 5, which states and confirms Obadiah 1, verses 13 through 14, that your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they Esau shall be ashamed. Daniel said in Daniel 11, verses 14, which states, and in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. The king of the south is Ptolemy of Egypt, Hebrews. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish division, but they shall fall. Hebrews, Herod the Edomite and some of his kinsmen built a temple, just as Solomon and Zerubbabel did, and it fell in 70 AD by the Romans. just as Daniel had foretold. I would like to inject a footnote here. Can an Edomite build a temple to Yahweh, Hebrews? The answer is no, no, and no. Nehemiah, our forefathers, who knew the law and the Tanakh, and Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, replied unto the Gentiles of his time that the God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore, we, his servants, Israel, will arise and build. But ye Gentiles, Greeks and Romans and Edomites and etc., have no portion nor right nor memorial in Jerusalem. Let me repeat that. The Gentiles, the Greeks, the Romans, and the Edomites, and etc., have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. Ezekiel informs us that Esau stole the land of Canaan from Israel in Ezekiel 35, verses 1 through 15. Hebrews, Ezekiel 35, verses 10 states, because thou hast said, these two nations, these two countries shall be mine, Judah and Israel, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Hebrews, because of Esau's hatred for Jacob, he performed this wicked act. Ezekiel 35, verses 11 through 13 shines a light on the hatred that Esau has for his brother, Jacob. Ezekiel 35, verses 11 through 13 states, therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against Israel, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all the blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. My fellow Hebrew Israelites, Psalms 83 informs us that Israel's enemies made a tumult, and they that hated thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Hebrews, Psalms 83, verses 6, gives us the names of the nations that conspired against us, to cause us to be blind and deaf and not know our culture, and especially our God unto this day. The nations are as follows: the Tabernacle of Edom, the ringleader, the Ishmaelites, Moab, the Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, Asher, and the children of Lot. Hebrews, we know now that Esau and the Edomites are the robbers of Israel, Judah. The Lord pronounced judgment on Edom in verses 7 through 9 because of what he did to Israel in Obadiah 1, verses 10 through 14, which states, for thy violence against thy brother, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou was one of them, but thou should have not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou should have not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should they have stood in the crosshairs to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither should thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of their distress. Hebrews, the Edomites performed this unlawful act during the time of 143 BC, when Antiochus Epiphanes invaded Judah. I would like to inform you at this juncture to watch my videos, part 1 and 2. Israel was not destroyed in 70 AD. Every time Israel goes into captivity, the Lord leaves a remnant in the land, those that did escape, in order that Israel may return to their homeland. In this particular calamity, Esau the Edomites stepped in and delivered up the remnant in order that they may possess the land. They stole the land of Israel by lot, the 12 lots of land that were given to the 12 sons of Jacob. Esau occupied the land and assumed the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. The Greeks, along with Esau, drove the Israelites out. The Israelites resettled on the west coast of Africa from 143 BC until the transatlantic slave trade began in the 1600s, and Deuteronomy 28 overcame them. Hebrews, the Edomites dwelled in the land of Israel, Canaan, from 143 BC to 70 AD, when the Romans drove them out of the land of Israel. Hebrews, in order to understand why Esau hates his brother Jacob so much, we must go back to the beginning where it all started.
Yeah, you see that picture right there? That's a mutation. So he built like an Israelite, but he got the red hair, like Esau. That's what the Most High was talking about not mixing.
Rebekah, Isaac's wife, gave birth to twin boys. The children struggled together in their mother's womb. Esau came forth first, the firstborn, and Jacob came after him, and his hand took a hold of Esau's heel. Genesis 25, verses 22 through 26. Esau despised his birthright and sold his birthright unto Jacob for bread and a pottage of lentils. Genesis 25, verses 29 through 34. Jacob obtains Esau's blessing from Isaac at Isaac's death, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. This all happened in Genesis 27, and this is where all the hatred started, Hebrews. Joseph became the second in charge in the land of Egypt. Therefore Jacob and all his sons dwelled in the land of Egypt, Goshen, Hebrews. Jacob dies in the land of Egypt, and all the servants of Pharaoh, and all the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went up with Joseph. And they went to bury Jacob in the land of Canaan. And a report reached Esau, saying Jacob died in Egypt, and his sons and all of Egypt are conveying him to the land of Canaan to bury him. And Joseph and his brethren brought their father, Jacob, from Egypt, and went to Hebron to bury Jacob in the cave by his forefathers. They came unto the cave in the land of Canaan, and as they came, Esau stood with his sons against Joseph and his brethren as a hindrance in the cave, saying, Jacob shall not be buried therein, for it belongeth unto us and to our forefathers. Hebrews, a battle broke out, and the battle was very heavy between them. And the sons of Esau were smitten before the sons of Jacob, and the sons of Jacob slew the sons of Esau, 80 men, and not one died of the people of the sons of Jacob. And the hand of Joseph prevailed over all the people of the sons of Esau. Esau was killed in the battle, and Zephno, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, was bound in chains of iron, and Joseph's servants brought him captive to Egypt. The children of Esau tried on several occasions to smite Israel and the Egyptians and free Zephno from Joseph's hands, but could not prevail, Hebrews. Joseph ordered Zephno and his men to be additionally bound, and they bound them in iron, and they increased their griefs. Jasher, chapter 56 through 59. Hebrews. After the death of Joseph, Zephno, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, fled from Egypt, he and his men, and they went away. Zephno became king over the children of Chechem. The children of Chechem are of the lineage of Japhet, Genesis 10, verse 4. Cain's lineage.
Yeah, what you just heard is that's what brought the Greeks to the Middle East. That's what brought Alexandria and Ptolemy and all them to the Middle East with this incident that nobody seems to know about between Joseph and Zephno. And like I said, nobody knows who Zephno is, but this is what brought Alexandria. Alexandria just happened to jump up and want to come to the Middle East. was behind this, the hatred that they had because of what went down with Jacob and Esau when at Isaac's death, and also what happened with Zephno, between Zephno and Joseph in Egypt. Yeah, I'm gonna a little more.
Hebrews, I advise you to watch my video. Ham and Japhet is not Noah's son. The children of Chechem are out of the lineage of Japhet. Genesis 10, verse 4. Zephno subdued and ruled over them. Zephno begot Janus, who succeeded him. Janus begot Philip, who succeeded him. And Philip begot Alexander the Greek, who ruled the children of Chechem after him. Joshua 67, verse 5. Hebrews, this was all prophesied by Daniel in the book of Daniel, chapter 8. The vision of the ram and the he-goat. Daniel prophesied that the Greeks would overcome the Medes and Persians, the second beast, and become the third beast of Daniel 7, verse 6. Daniel had a vision in verses 1 through 14 and received the interpretation in verses 15 through 27 of chapter 8. Gabriel told Daniel that Alexander the Greek would come. The first king of Daniel 8, verse 21. He informed Daniel that Alexander would fall sick and die and divide his kingdom up in 4 ways. Daniel 8, verse 22. He further informed Daniel that a wicked and fierce king would stand up at the end of the third beast, and he would destroy Israel as a nation. He would, through many policies, cause craft to prosper in his hands and magnify himself in his heart. Daniel 8, verses 23 through 25. Hebrews, this prophecy never came to pass in the King James Bible because it was taken out and hidden from the reader by the powers that be.
Okay. Yeah, so I thought I'd give you a little blast from the past to see how far we came. Anybody got any comments or questions or something they heard? No comments, no questions. Okay, I'm gonna play a little more on the end here, and then I'm gonna give you a little pictorial on these giants to prep everybody for the next class.
To sum everything up, and to bring forth truth and righteousness, let us together rightly divide the above information, Hebrews. Why do we, as Hebrews, disannul the Old Testament and show favor to the New Testament? Hebrews, we do this very thing because the Gentiles and the Edomites hate the law and have imposed their ideologies upon us, just as Moses, through the Lord of hosts, prophesied that it would happen. Deuteronomy 32, verses 17. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God, the gods whom they knew not, to new gods that newly came up, whom their fathers feared not. Hebrews, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Zechariah, and Haggai, and Malachi did not know the God of the New Testament. If our fathers proclaim that the Gentiles are our enemies, Hebrews, how can they be grafted in, according to Paul and the Greek New Testament? Hebrews, the powers that be, the wicked scribes, took out Zerubbabel's temple and played up Herod's temple, which was not sanctioned by Yahweh, in order to cover over the true history of Esau, the Edomites, and the Japhet, the Gentiles. Because of this dilemma, we as Hebrew Israelites have fumbled with the Tanakh for thousands of years. Hebrews, it is high time we get back around to thinking like a Hebrew. In order for us as Hebrew Israelites to return unto the Lord God, the Lord of hosts, we must give up the ideologies of Esau written in the Greek New Testament. Hebrews, I have been sent to inform and enlighten you, whether you hear or forbear is upon you. The King James Bible is 2 books rolled in one. The Old Testament and the Greek New Testament are 2 different books. The Israelites, our forefathers, wrote the Old Testament, the Tanakh, in the Hebrew language, and the Edomites and the Gentiles, our enemies, Israel's enemies, wrote the Greek New Testament, The Old Testament, the old is holy and the new is plagiarized. There are two different gods in the Bible, the one in the Old Testament and the other in the New Testament. The Lord of hosts, the God of Tanakh, the Old Testament says, search the Tanakh in the last days and find them, Hebrews. Isaiah tells us in Isaiah 29 verses 18 that on that day, the deaf will hear the words of the scrolls, and out of deep darkness, the eyes of the blind will see. Hebrews, I hope that this video enlightened and informed you. And may the Lord of hosts protect and keep all Hebrew Israelites until our soon regathering.
Okay. Okay, let me bring everybody back up. See if anybody got any questions. Anybody got anything?
Jeanette asked another question,
There
and
you
she
go.
said, which prophecy never came to pass? Oh, there she go. Okay.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah. Shalom, shalom.
Okay.
In your teaching at one point, you mentioned that one of the prophecies that was spoken did not come to pass.
Well, no, I said that the prophecy of Antioch Epiphanes was it's a process. You had a vision, Most High sent a vision, which your angel brings it. Then you have to get it explained to you. Then it come to pass. The first two things happen with Antioch Epiphanes. He got the dream from, and then Daniel got the understanding of it, but it didn't come to pass in the Old Testament. They took it out. It's in First Maccabees. That's why nobody understands that the debacle that happened with in 143 BC. They think that it's coming in the future, and they're thinking that the Israelites left their homeland in 70 AD, but they didn't. They left in 143 BC because they took that prophecy out.
Okay.
When it came to pass, and when you go to First Maccabees, that's the first thing it says, and it came to pass. So you got to ask yourself, what it is that came to pass? What was revealed to Daniel over in the King James in the Tanakh?
Yeah. And the other question is, when an angel, does the same messenger that bring a person a message give them the understanding, or there's another angel for understanding? Like Daniel.
It could be that he, I would say it's the angel that brings the dream, bring the understanding. So, but Gabriel is the angel of understanding. So it could be that angel bring the dream, it's in the book that I wrote, the one about Israel, the truth,
his story.
His story, the God of Israel. So he says that it tells you how that Raphael he deal with dreams.
Right.
So they bring the dream, and then when he gets the dream, then the prophets knew that, the Israelites knew that. Once they received the dream, then they tarried.
Okay.
And they waited, maybe knowing that the angel was gonna show up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And so, like I said before, it's happening over and over again with people they're not zeroing in on what's going on. So when you understand the order, so if it's a female and she prayed about something, she should be expecting a man to show up.
And more specifically, a Hebrew Israelite man, right?
Right. Levite. It's gonna be you supposed to be looking for that. But they didn't throw us off track, giving us all this, they didn't screwed our minds, but with all this European stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
they knew that. They knew that. Just like I said, when you go to Daniel, and Daniel had a vision, then he said, and he looked, and
Uh-huh.
he saw a man standing there over against him, and he asked him what was up, and then it was Gabriel. Gabriel explained it to him. So
Right.
right,
Okay. My last comment is I so enjoyed hearing this teaching again, because I was able to listen to it, and everything that was being taught, I could follow it perfectly, because like I said in the chat, it's a part of our foundational understanding of our story.
right,
So awesome. Thank you.
okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier when you were talking about Esau being sent, he's the one that brought the Greeks. It brought me back to Haman, who was Amalek, who's Esau's son. It said, in the book of Esther that he was sent as an ambassador to the Medes and the Persians. So that puts you in the fact that, the people that was coming after, which was the Greeks, sent him over there ahead of time.
Right, right.
And so he had two purposes. One, to kill off the Jews, but he was also sent to usurp the Medes and the Persians kingdom.
Right, right. And then when everything turned on them, that's what people not understanding. They fled right back to Greece. Whenever Aorus turned the decision and decided to hang Haman and his 10 sons on the thing, and then he told the Jews, he turned the proclamation back from killing all the Israelites to killing the Edomites.
Right.
So they fled, but where did they go? They went to Greece. Back where they came from. That's who had sent them.
Yep.
So they fled back to Greece. Right. And all that stuff is like you need to know stuff, because it's gonna connect the dots for you. And you
exactly.
You have to fumble with it. Yeah. Yeah. So anybody else got anything? Yeah. So like I said, I mean, I got excited and got overexcited about these Giants, but I wasn't all the way ready. So because I had got some images, but I didn't have time to put them together. But what I'm gonna do is give you a little pictorial right quick for set everybody up for the class. And like I was saying before, it's this channel is Israel Wake Up. So when you go looking for it, you remember that. So here we go. Let me show you these images. What we got behind us right now is this Mansa Musa. I just, like I was saying, I want this crown right here. If you remember the story when Joseph was dealing with Benjamin, he told him to look on, they was apt in astrology. He told him to look on the map and find him on the map. And then he told him, about the crown. So then Benjamin did that, and he realized that the man that was standing there with him was Joseph. But so anyways, but what people don't connect the dots is was all the gold that Mansa Musa had, and then this same gold was given to Adam in the garden in Havilah, and then it was given. Then Solomon and David had gold all over the place, kicking all over the place. Josiah. So when this guy come out of nowhere, like I said, the thing was that it was a different type of gold, and when he came out on the world scene, he shut the whole world down. That's what brought the slave ships and the Europeans to the Middle East and to Africa and to the West Africa when he came out. And they seen all this gold, So I did this right here. Here goes another image. He throwing gold balls around, got gold everywhere. So nobody really connects the dots with that. So I'm gonna give some images of these of these giants. It's another thing that goes over people's head. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about I was reading in the Table of Nations in Genesis chapter 10 about Ham. And so here you go right here. These Egyptians wrote this down for a reason. On the wall. They show you on the wall. See the size of these men right here? And this is what he's talking about when he says his children oftentimes went down into, the Lord was talking. He says the Israelites oftentimes went down into Egypt and the Egyptian, which I showed you was Mizraim, is another name for the Mizraim, which is a race of giants, oppressed them. This is what he's talking about. And this is what they've been hidden from us. These giants all over, there were giants all over Egypt, right here. See that? And then they talk about, they're trying to figure out who was dealing with the blocks. Here go the blocks right here. He told them the blocks. You know? And like I said before, over here, this is another one of the missing links right here. I don't know if you can really see this, but I got a better image. But notice this is a regular man. These females, these coffins, from the female. So this is the missing element that people don't understand about the giants was that these giants right here, they couldn't deal with a little bitty woman, you know, because of their size. So these what missing link nobody know nothing about. Right here, these giant women. This is how they was reproducing. See these giant women, they don't want you to know that. See, that's when you look at a regular coffin, you don't see how tall it is. But see that? This is a regular man. These women, these coffins of women that was in Egypt. Look how big she is. This is a regular man right here. So this is the source of what these giants how they was reproducing. They're going into these type of women, these women right here. So anyway, I'll show you some more coffins right here. Yeah, see how big them coffins is? They giant. It's it's right there in your face, but you ain't looking at it. And here go a better picture of what I was talking about right here with the. It's just a, like I said, it's a little pictorial. But here you go right here. See that? See how big that she is than a regular man? Yeah, giant woman right there. And so he said, what you talking about? So this is what Esau did when he went to Mount Seir. He was this Esau. This is how his wives look. That's how he got Zephno and all these boys that were giants. He went to Mount Seir and he started marrying these women, which he said grieved. It grieved the spirit of Jacob. I mean, it grieved the spirit of Rebecca and Isaac when he did that. So, get some more image right quick. I got about 3 more. One right here. Yeah, and I was telling you about it. I forgot who it was I was talking to, but see right here, it's a baptism. Baptism. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, baptism. They come out of Egypt. They come out of, and then, they incorporated it. Like I said, the New Testament is a amalgamation of Buddhism, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and the Tanakh. So Right here. Right there. There you go. So what you looking at right here? See that water? That's a baptism. See what he got on right here? This is, the baptism going. See, that's come straight out of Egypt. And when they council their sea and all that, they incorporated it into our history and our culture, but it wasn't in there. And so the thing is, through typology, they say that they're going back to the story of the Red Sea and say that we that was a form of baptism. We went through the Red Sea. Children of Israel went through the Red Sea was a form of, it was a foreshadowing of the baptism. But the scripture tell you point blank, they went through dry shod. They didn't get a drop of water on them. He dried the ground up. So they went through dry shod. So and then the word baptism comes from baptismo, means to be immersed in water. No Israelite didn't get immersed when they went through the Red Sea. He held the water back and dried the ground up. And they tell you, the scripture tell you they went through dry shod. It's when the Pharaoh and them came in behind them. Because the water started coming back in the ground, they got bogged down. But the Israelites went through dry shod. And so, like I said, look right here. These giants right here. Even this thing here, big. So go back to what Caleb the spy saw. They saw giants all over the place, but he go regular, Ham. This Ham descended right here. These guys here came from when the angels came. You go Ham descendants right here. See, you got to get up on a platform to baptize. Right here. These regular men, Ham descendants. This Nazarene. Yeah. So with that being said, anybody got any comments, and then we're gonna close out. Okay. Anybody got any comments?
Yeah, shalom, shalom. In seminary, that's what they taught us. They connected why we were getting baptized in our churches was because the nation of Israel got baptized when they went through the Red Sea, and at that time, I didn't have sense enough. I didn't have sense enough to remember no water touched them.
Right. He tell you point blank in the scriptures. They went through dry shod.
Yeah.
He tell you that right there in the book.
That's a good point.
So like I was saying before, right? And like I was saying before with these, they worship. The reason why when Michael showed up in Egypt, the reason why he shut the Nile River down was they worshiped the Nile River. So that's where the baptism come from. These giants, these pharaohs, they anoint them with water from the Nile River. See that? So we know that it's the king and the high priest get anointed in Israel. He got a special oil. The Most High gave them ingredients to it. They ain't doing no water. They got a special oil they putting on the people. But right here, these Egyptians, the Hamites, all of them worshiping the Nile. They worshiping the Nile River. And so they take the water from the Nile River and anoint them. See, he a priest. The son of the Pharaoh, probably next in charge. So he anoint him with the water from the Nile River. And even down here, like I say, they ain't miss a beat. Just like the Most High ain't miss a beat in the scriptures in Tanakh. When you read it right, they ain't miss a beat when they painting these pictures. You see that? And then what people wear when they get baptized now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he going all the way in. They ain't playing with it. See that? And then go here. Look at this right here. See the apron?
Mm-hmm.
Go back to what the Most High did with Adam. He said he tells you that he gave Ham stole it and gave it to Cush.
Mm-hmm.
The apron. I don't got apron on. Yeah.
And Leonard, the big women that you're showing us, they're just daughters of those giants. That's where they came from?
Well, if you go to Genesis, this one of the things, like I said, you have to you lay off of it, you speak it, and then you lay off of it, because then when the Most High come back, he's gonna make it so plain. Then you have to deal with it. So right here, I said this, but like I said, you probably didn't register, but. And what I've learned is that you can't take nothing for granted, because these people, they ain't just coming in and just we ain't ignorant and throwed off for the hell of it. They hoodwink everything. They didn't leave nothing unturned. So you go to Genesis chapter 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass. They're going to come to pass when men begin to multiply on earth. So like they're doing right now, with calling us Africans. And they tying the 400 years and saying that we Africans, and tying in our history and our prophecies that with us, tying us in with the Hamites, saying that we are diaspora, we come from Africa. Well, he's doing that right here. He says, and it came to pass when men begin, so they tying the giants in with men. So he says, and it came to pass when men begin to multiply on the face of the earth, that daughters were born in them. Here go the daughters I'm talking about right here. This is the daughters he talking about. Right
Okay.
here. But they the hoodwinked us and got us thinking it's regular women, but it's these.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So and then like I said, you gotta go back to this right here. See this? Look at the size of this dude compared to them. And look at these here. They can't deal with no woman.
Right.
So yeah, it's a big woman they had to deal with it. And here she go over here, all up in our face. Right here. And right here, these tunes. They were all over the place. See that? These giant women.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. That's what they were dealing with. But they got us thinking they didn't tie it in when they did this, tied it all in and saying, got us thinking, just like they're doing now. We know that the Most High is coming to get Israel. But in the New Testament, he said he looked under the throne and it was men from all nations and all kindred.
Right.
See? So they're doing the same thing right here. So you got you thinking when he said daughters, that is, all women of the earth. All the women, but it's Cain daughters.
Okay.
See, because when an angel come down sleep with a woman, what you get?
A giant.
Okay. What did Cain do to his brother? Brother.
He slew him?
He killed his brother. Right? Ain't the giant oppressive?
Yes.
Ain't that what Nazarene did to Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
He killed his brother. He oppressive. He got that spirit in him. He killed him. So then he left from there and he went and found a woman over there in the land of Nile. But anyway, he the one started having these big daughters. He a product from what the serpent and Eve did.
Okay.
So like I said, in order to make it plain, you have to wait for a time to present that, because it's gonna go over a lot of people's heads. But now the time to present it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're looking at the like I said, who know about these big women?
I know.
And then like I said, it's right there in your face with Esau. He said that if the men, the Hittites and the Avites and all these Jebusites, they giants, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, he said that Esau married a Dulamite woman and a Canaanite woman. Well, the men, if the boys big, the women big.
Okay. Wow.
See that? So this is what you're actually looking at right here. What I was just showing you. Let me find it again. Right here. See that? That's Esau. This. Let me get the verse.
Just about.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to close out. Genesis 36 says, now there was the generation of Esau, and who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan. See that? Mm-hmm. That's these women right here, big women, tall women. The boys tall, the daughters big too. The daddy big, the mama big, so the daughter big. So
Okay.
this is what people not understand. This Esau, he's his wife right here. And so this how he got, let me right quick. This how he got these boys right here. It says, I ain't want to go all the way in there like this, but we can go back over it again. It don't matter. So it says, you get down to verse 10. And these are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, that's a giant. Ada, the wife of Esau, she a giant. Laud, the son of Basmath, she a giant. So that boy is tall. Then you get on down. Zephno, he a giant. Tema, these boys, they tall. They getting it. And that's the reason he went there, to get these type of boys. And he got it through the women. That's why he traced his lineage through the female, rather than like the Most High said, through the male.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So anybody else got anything before we go? Okay. Let me see. Okay, with that being said, let me see. Hold on. You want to say I'm gonna say shalom to everybody, and I'm gonna turn the broadcast off. In the broadcast.